Picture it. The 1970s. A world soaked in velvet and vinyl. Guitar riffs screaming through smoke-heavy rooms. Flashbulbs popping. Men with beautiful arrogance and women who looked like they belonged on album covers instead of real life. Fame back then didn't whisper. It roared. Now. Cut to a quiet English village. A narrow road. A modest cottage. The smell of bread baking instead of cigarettes burning. A woman in her 60s ties an apron, checks a guest list, worries about whether the salmon will be overcooked. This is Astrid Lane. Once photographed. Once desired. Once unforgettable. Now. Almost invisible by design. Fame promised her everything. And took more than she ever agreed to give. Because some lives don't move forward. They fold inward. Around secrets. Around regrets. Around a single decision that echoes for decades. And tonight, in Famous Once by Jane Green, we're opening that folded life. And asking a dangerous question. What happens when the past refuses to stay buried? Before we dive in, if you love atmospheric book breakdowns that feel more like stories than summaries, hit subscribe. You're in the right place. Astrid Lane didn't plan to disappear. In the 1970s, she was a rising model, beautiful in that effortless, undone way. She moved through elite circles, dated famous men, and brushed shoulders with rock legends whose names still echo through music history. But Astrid learned early, proximity to fame is not protection. It's exposure. Behind the glamour was control. Manipulation. A music industry that chewed through women quietly, then smiled for the cameras. So Astrid ran. She built a new life as a caterer. Safe. Predictable. Anonymous. A life measured in menus instead of headlines. And she told herself this was enough. But the thing about secrets? They don't age quietly. Enter Zara. Astrid's daughter. Smart. Guarded. Carrying a lifelong ache she can't quite name. Zara grew up feeling second to a mystery, raised with love, yes, but without answers. She knows her mother is hiding something, even if she doesn't know what. And silence, over time, becomes its own betrayal. Zara wants truth. Astrid wants peace. And those two desires are about to collide. It starts innocently enough. A 1970s music retrospective. A podcast episode digging into the myths of legendary bands. Stories retold. Names revived. Rumors dusted off for clicks and nostalgia. Then. A voice Astrid hasn't heard in decades. And just like that, the careful walls she built begin to crack. The past isn't asking permission anymore. And when a break-in shatters the quiet of Astrid's cottage, nothing stolen, but something searched for, she knows. Someone else remembers. Hidden away are old cassette tapes. Recordings Astrid never planned to share. Voices from another lifetime. Proof that history didn't happen the way it was sold. For Zara, these tapes are revelation and heartbreak all at once. For Astrid, they're a reckoning. Because truth isn't just dangerous to powerful men. It's dangerous to families built on survival. Famous Once doesn't romanticize rock history. Jane Green peels back the legend to show the cost. The silenced women. The careers built on exploitation. The lies polished into nostalgia. Astrid wasn't weak for leaving. She was strong enough to survive. But survival often demands silence, and silence has consequences. As Astrid finally opens up, the real heart of this story emerges. Not the scandal. Not the rock legends. But a mother and daughter learning how to talk honestly for the first time. Zara realizes her mother's absence wasn't abandonment, it was fear. Astrid realizes protection can look a lot like distance. Healing, it turns out, begins with listening. When the full truth comes out, it doesn't just change Astrid and Zara. It threatens to rewrite a beloved chapter of rock mythology. Careers tremble. Reputations wobble. And Astrid faces one last choice. Stay safe. Or speak. This time. She chooses herself. The truth doesn't restore the past. But it frees the future. Astrid is no longer just famous once. She is finally known. Zara no longer carries an unnamed ache. She carries understanding. And together, they build something quieter than fame. But stronger. Famous Once is about the stories we tell the world. And the ones we're brave enough to tell our children. It asks. What would history look like if everyone had been heard? Have you ever discovered a family secret that changed how you saw someone you love? Or, who's your favorite classic rock artist, and do you think we really know their full story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into music, memory, and redemption, subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who still believes every legend deserves a second look. Because some voices were never meant to stay silent.